our final matchup for the second round today. In the Stephen Sondheim division, we see Annie taking on Les Mis. Annie is number 34 overall. It defeated Shrek 10-5 in the first round. Annie is a musical with music by Charles Strauss, lyrics by Martin Sharman, and a book by Thomas Meehan. It is based on the 1924 comic strip Little Orphan Annie by Harold Gray. The original Broadway production opened in 1977 and closed on January 2, 1983, after a total of 2,377 performances, setting a record for the longest-running show at the Alvin Theatre, now known as the Neil Simon Theatre, until it was surpassed by Hairspray in 2009. It was revived on Broadway in 1997 and from 2012 to 2014. It was nominated for 9 Tony Awards in 1977, winning Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical, Best Original Score, Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Musical, Best Choreography, Best Scenic Design, and Best Costume Design. And it takes on the overall number 2 seed, Les Miserables, or Les Mis. It defeated Sunday in the Park with George 12-2, and I don't understand why that even got 2 votes, but that's okay. Les Mis is a sung-through musical with music by Claude Michel Schoenberg, lyrics by Alain Bobile and Jean-Marc Nattel, and book by Schoenberg and Bobile, based on the 1862 novel of the same name by Victor Hugo. Set in early 19th century France, Les Mis tells the story of Jean Valjean, a French peasant, and his desire for redemption. After stealing a loaf of bread for his sister's starving child, Valjean is imprisoned for 19 years and released in 1815. When a bishop inspires him with a tremendous act of mercy, Valjean breaks his parole and starts his life anew and in disguise. He becomes wealthy and adopts an orphan, Cosette. The police inspector named Javert pursues Valjean over the decades in a single-minded quest for justice. The characters are swept into a revolutionary period in France where a group of young idealists attempt to overthrow the government at a street barricade in France. The musical premiered on Broadway on March 12, 1987 at the Broadway Theatre. The show was nominated for 12 Tony Awards, of which it won 8, including Best Musical and Best Original Score. The musical ran through October 10, 1990, when it moved to the Imperial Theatre. It was scheduled to close on March 15, 2003, but the closing was postponed by a surge in public interest. After 6,680 performances in 16 years, when it closed 2 months later on May 18, 2003, it was the second longest running Broadway musical after Cats. It was surpassed by The Phantom of the Opera in 2006. Only 3 years after the original run closed, Les Mis began a return to Broadway on November 9, 2006 at the Broadhurst Theatre for a limited run that was subsequently made open-ended. The revival closed on January 6, 2008 after 463 performances. Then, in 2013, the Toronto production moved to Broadway in March in 2014, with an opening on March 23, 2014. That Broadway revival was nominated for 3 Tony Awards: Best Revival of a Musical, Best Leading Actor in a Musical, and Best Sound Design. So we have 2 orphans taking on each other. We have Cosette in Les Mis, and we have Annie in Annie. So, if you want to vote for Cosette, comment with Les Mis or Les Miserables, if you want to be all happy and fully French. Or, if you want to vote for Annie, comment with Annie. The voting will be for the next 24 hours here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on the Harmony Music Education Instagram stories.